Okay, so making a color transition from using an analogous color scheme, going from one color all the way down to the other in kind of an analogous line. We're going to select red and yellow today. When you mix them together, you're going to get your secondaries and you're going to get your tertiaries. So we're going to go from red to red-orange to yellow-orange all the way to yellow. The thing you need to pay attention to when you're making these mixes is not having stoppage lines in between. You want to be able to blend your colors using really good brush technique, so it just looks like an ombre effect that one thing just flows right into the next. Okay? So first thing you want to do is you want to make sure you have a few brushes to actually blend with. This is the only time I will be okay. Somebody at the door? Oh, that can wait. This is the only time I'm going to let you dip in and kind of mix with your brush on your palette, because it's kind of a necessary, not evil, but it's kind of a necessary test that you have to do to get good transitions. You're going to also notice that the paint is very translucent. We're going to see this number 2 through it because I wrote it in pen. Whoopsie-daisy. It's still going to show up. So anyway, when you are first starting, you want to make sure that you are painting heavy. You also don't want to paint in any particular direction. You just want to make sure that you are applying enough paint. You're going to be essentially creating secondaries and mostly tertiaries on the paper. So you want to apply kind of heavy so it does not dry. If you have too thin a paint to start out with, your transitions are not going to work well. And I'll probably come back and do a second layer. You kind of want it to sink in. You don't want to just stain the paper and then push it. You want to sort of get two colors next to each other and kind of, for lack of a better term, mush things together. When you're making that secondary color, don't make it too light. Let me go kind of quick. So I use like 2/3 to 1/3. You are going to end up mixing a little bit more on there. So I have a red-orange next to my plain old red. You want to throw it down on there, but then what I'm going to ask you to do is kind of take a dry brush and mix the two together. Watch your edges, watch how you just apply it in the strip. You can let the things touch, that's okay too. But then as you apply it, and I know it's kind of hard to see on the screen, you can take a flathead brush, you can take another roundhead brush. I usually prefer the roundhead brush to kind of blend. And you're just going to make sure that you have enough color that you're going to push some of the dark into the medium and some of the medium into the dark, so your transition's really nice. You're going to come back to this when it's kind of halfway dry a little bit and mix it up again. As you get further down the line, again, I'm just going to start pushing colors in. Oh, I got some white in there by accident. So gradually adjusting that color, gradually lighting it up. Get it right on top, get it right next door to whatever's going on. You can take another brush, again, with the dark into the medium into the dark. The flathead brush is not my best friend when I'm doing this. I'd rather use a roundhead brush. You want to apply it thick enough so that you don't get implied lines. You want to apply it thick enough to where, Cooper, I'm going to take that phone, to where your edges are, to where you're just not getting any edges. So again, I'm going to take my color, I'm going to push it in again. I'm going to kind of avoid some of my dark stuff. You can save it for later if you need to go back and blend. It's okay to have a dirty brush at this point. This still has a little bit of orange left on it. Why do you think it's okay to have a little bit of orange, a little bit of my darker stuff left over onto my lighter stuff? Jade, Ayana, what do you think? Yeah, you want to kind of have a little bit of leftover stuff so it is a more gradual blend. Absolutely right. So again, you don't want to leave any hard edges there. I want to pull that down. I want to pull some other stuff up. So if you were doing like sunset-y kind of stuff, or like an underwater scene, you would want to kind of dry brush stuff together this way. So then finally, I'm going to get to my lightest values. And you see how I have my hands loaded with a few different brushes at a time? That way I can pick a previous brush, I can get a drier brush, I can get something that is more of a workable brush. I'm going to start to take this guy, it just has a little bit of orange left over on it. I'm going to go straight into my yellow. When you're doing this transition and you're incorporating yellow, you don't want to have pure yellow hanging out by itself for too long. Maybe right at this very edge I'll have that pure yellow hanging out. But if you have pure yellow hanging out, it is so translucent, you're going to not be able to get a good changeover on its own. You'll get an implied line. You'll get the edges of your previous colors. So then finally, make sure you have a clean brush. Get your yellow or your lightest value. I didn't get enough. Quickly, can somebody run? Run and grab. Run and grab. Go, Keaton, go. 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 I don't care where you put it on. Go. Go. Find a magazine. Plop it on there. I don't care. Get something. Get something before it dries. Go. Thanks, buddy. All right. Koala, I appreciate your efforts. All right. All right. When you do this final one, the whole time we've been going up, this last bit, you need to start at the top and work your way down. So you want to get kind of that hard, intense yellow, because you want it to be bright. You want to be able to see each individual color in your analogous color scheme. However, if we keep on bringing it up, it'll continue to stay kind of yellow-orange. And we want to allow every single color to be involved. So at this point, I've got a little bit of a separation between the two. I'm going to get a cleaner brush, so I'm using less of the red content in there. It's okay. I don't need it. Aw, sad. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to wiggle just kind of the very ends of my bristles. I'm going to bring some of that orange up and kind of mix it in to where I painted my yellow thick. But do you see how there's no lines, there's no separating marks? You just kind of want to tickle it on. So I need a little bit more orange over here. And then once again, oh dear, let me get that yellow back again. It's okay, we're good. I'm going to load up with just keeping the yellow just in the yellow zone. And again, just using the tips of those bristles, you just kind of want to mix on paper a little bit. This is not okay right here where I can see the very end of the orange. I'm going to take that yellow. I'm going to start to incorporate it. And this is where you kind of have to be a little bit choosy. Okay? So that's what you're looking for when everything's all said and done. Okay? So those tips of the bristles are going to be kind of important because you just want to kind of tickle it in there. You don't want to force it in there too much because if you force it, it could get real mushy. But the name of the game is being generous with the amount of paint, doing some pre-mixing. But how long did that take? Less than 8 minutes, okay? Because I was talking at first. So just be careful with that. Use enough so that it doesn't dry on you. If you're too stingy, it'll dry on you. And then does dry paint blend? No. No. Question? No. Okay, I'm going to stop the thing. Hold on.